is I, Marc Severied, on my Nuclear Renaissance channel. I'm just going to get right into it because I don't really have that much time. I have some music stuff that I got to take care of today for the band set. I'm going to add two links in the description. I need you guys, if you're interested at all in any of this stuff, I want you to check out the first link that's going to deal with the Hegelian Dialectic. Honestly, I'm exhausted with repeating what it is, so maybe if somebody more articulate than I explains it from another perspective, you'll get to understand what's going on. Real roughly though, it is when a controlling member of society in a governmental structure decides to control people using paradigms. Now I'm going to talk about the two-point paradigm, which is the right-wing, left-wing, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat paradigm that the neocons and the globalists, the bankers, the Satanists, what you will call them, whatever you want to call them, I call them all Satanists because they all believe Satan is real, which I do too, but they believe that he is the true God of this world. And I do too as well, but unfortunately for them, this world is temporary. So, we're going to get into that, but that's what the Hegelian Dialectic is. It's a form of control. And the second link that I'm going to provide is also going to deal with the same thing on a more comprehensive and, let's say, corporeal level. Okay? It's quite important for us to really take grasp of what's happening today in the United States. Really all over the world, but right now it's really prevalent in the United States. I've been all over the webernets, just doing my best to read stuff that's going on, and now you have a lot of liberals, progressives, now saying that they're the resistance. They literally, I've read that on streams, there are people out there saying that they are the resistance. I'm not going to get too negative right now. I'm not going to get too insulted right now, even though I would rather do that because it's a laugh. And let me tell you why it's a laugh. You guys, you progressives, you liberals, you Democrats, where were you 8 years ago? Where were you 20 years ago? Let's just go into it now. The Obama administration, the quote-unquote Affordable Healthcare Act, you're going to deem that as President Trump going to dismantle and destroy. It should have never been written into law. Okay? I will say one thing for my right-wing brothers and sisters, that they had it right. You look into the Affordable Health Care Act, and they are literally going to force an RFID chip implantation to people. All right, whether you have a religious thought to that or anything, doesn't matter. If the United States government so deems necessary to do so, whether it be some sort of cataclysmic event, they have the right to now do it with that Affordable Health Care Act. It's a Trojan horse, telling you that you're going to have affordable health care. We're going to be as awesome as Canada with the universal health care that they have over there. It's completely different. But where were you guys when this law was put into place and the right-wingers were condemning it left and right? And well, they should, because let's look at it now. You have, 116% increase in the prices of this Affordable Health Care Act. You ask states like Arizona, I believe Delaware, Texas. I live in Texas, and you're talking about the fact that it was projected to only be about $2,500 a month, and it's increased to $5,400 a month. So how is this affordable? How is this a good thing? Okay, where were you liberals since let's just go back as recent as 2014 to this day, that we have over 11,100 plus deaths all over the world because of U.S. military operations. Okay, we have over 24 military operations currently going on. In the United States, all under the Obama administration. All right, where were you when your freedoms were being taken away, little by little? Okay, since 20 years ago, where were you, liberal? You're part of the resistance now, right? Where's your resistance? Where was your resistance back then when my right-wing brothers were speaking about this? When I was speaking about this, okay? You were at home playing your fiddles, growing your beards, and getting tail. Okay? Doing exactly what popular culture wanted you to do, staying dormant, staying ignorant, and biased. It's a very big word right now, because bias is an extremely dangerous thing, especially right now. Hearing idiotic, quote-unquote, rants, it was written for her, by the way, by an actress named Ashley Judd. There's no difference between that rant or hate speech as Hitler's hate speeches back in the day. Right? No difference. You're going to change around the wordology, you're going to change around who it is that you're talking against, and then get me to think that it's okay for you to say things like that? I'm far too intelligent for that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you progressives and your liberals aren't. Alright? Now you want to call the right-wingers, and I guess me, history, to my face. I'm still here. I'm not history. I'm not history, okay? I'm here between your progressive, bias, liberal, ignorant, mind brainwashing, manipulated ideology and your quote-unquote future. I'm still here, okay? You want to call me history, you better damn well be ready to shoot me in the head and make me history, okay? So that's the end of that foolishness, okay? That being said, my right-wing brothers and sisters, you guys are really happy, aren't you? Really happy that a conservative, okay, a conservative is in office now, and he's going to fix all your problems magically. Now, there's a lot of intellectually honest Republicans out there and conservatives out there. I'm not speaking to you per se right now. You guys know what's going on. I think most of you do anyway. But to you guys that are really no different than the brainwashed liberals, okay? I need to speak to you as well. If you think that Trump is for you, okay? All right. I do not like the idea that one man can save this nation. And the reason I say that is because obviously we know he can't. We know that there is an entire nation of people that want this to happen, so how could he possibly be alone in this idea? He can't. No. But what I do mean is that to you brainwashed folks who truly believe that you're in the right when you continually make fun of the progressives and the liberals crying on the streets, which most of them are probably paid actors. Nobody, I'm out and about, and if somebody's going to be videotaping me, or video recording me rather, video recording me, I'm going to ask him, what are you doing? Why are you video recording me? Can you ask me for permission to do that? I mean, that doesn't, like, freak you guys out. Supposedly she was, this one person during the inauguration was screaming, no, no, no. Okay? They could have outfitted her a lot better. She looked like a bleeding heart, militant, feminist, progressive, secularist, blah blah blah. I could not have costumed an actor that well myself. Okay, and I know a little bit about it because I love art. All right, acting. That's my segue. If we remember how the documented facts that President Obama was indeed giving acting lessons, and by whom? By the gentleman that was in, and I'm sorry, forgive me for not having his name, one of you guys can correct me on it, but he was the actor in The Matrix that played the second layer antagonist on the Human Party, the captain that didn't really like Morpheus. They were fighting over the same female character, blah blah blah. The one that actually looks like the one that actually looks like Obama. That guy, yeah, him. And surprisingly, the one that also actually acts like Obama. Okay, he was actually his acting teacher. It's a documented fact. Look it up. So we had an actor in the White House. We've had actors in the White House since the 80s, most notably Ronald Reagan. He was a Hollywood superstar, became President of the United States, and obviously received acting lessons, training, as did Donald Trump, which is also documented fact. We've got to talk about the guy that was in a television series that was the #1 rated television series pretty much of the decade. Okay? You don't get that good without having some acting lessons. Why am I bringing this up? Because they're all actors. They're all puppets. You want to get to the truth of the matter? You want to have a resistance? Conservative, liberal, you want to have a resistance? Why don't you resist against the ones that are pitting you against one another? It is beyond obvious what is going on. And I don't understand how my brothers and sisters, how my liberal, progressive brothers and sisters, as well as my conservative ones, don't see what is going on. You guys are better than this. You're being manipulated against one another. I can't go anywhere without hearing opposing views. Up to the point of dog person and cat person. Really? You're gonna fight over that? They're animals. Love them. And in token, that's my next segue. Love. Alright? Do not dictate notions given to you by someone else without igniting your own intellectual honesty. Now, I'm going to be like the rest of the conservatives right now, most of them, all right, and say that we don't know what Trump's going to do. He just got into office, all right? But I'm going to take it a little bit further than that. Not only do I not know, but I no longer care. Why? Because he's not calling the shots. I don't have to prove this. I don't have to prove the fact that the dude was put into office by the Electoral College, not the popular vote. I also don't have to prove that it's always been that way. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's straight out of the mainstream media. Okay? This is what people report, especially you progressive liberals. Now, there's a lot of intellectually honest liberals out there. Okay? And I'm really speaking to you. Because if you're going to come to me and tell me that Ashley Judd is a true feminist and really cares about the liberal movement, nobody incites hate speeches like hers in Washington, D.C. The way she did a few days back. Nobody. You are not going to convince me that it's okay to do that. It's not cool. It's not cool. Making derogatory statements about anyone in defense of whatever derogatory statement that was put against you is only on you. That's not a judgment, that's an observation. And I'm going to give you a subtle example to make you people understand what I'm trying to get at. If somebody calls me ugly, okay, am I going to say to you, well, you're ugly? No, because that's stupid. That's emotional blackmail. Well, you know, somebody tells me, you lied, so I lied. That's emotional blackmail. That doesn't make the situation any better. That two wrongs do not make a right. Okay? And in this case, two left-wingers don't make two right-wingers. See what I did there? Anyway, this is my point. You all have been distracted. You all have been pit against one another by the Hegelian Dialectic. You all have been pit against one another because there are evil entities living under and all over this world that hate you. You really want to know what's going on when it comes to that? Because I think that in just this humble little video, I've given you steps to figure out the reality of this Hegelian Dialectic. Okay? Of this brainwashing technique, this mass brainwashing technique that gets everybody to fight against one another while they get away with the murders and the deaths and the money that they steal from us on a daily basis. You are a debt slave. Black, white, red, yellow, green, purple polka dots, whatever. You are a debt slave, especially in the United States. Okay? You really want to make a difference? I'm going to go with Woody Harrelson's solution, at least short-term solution to this. Stop listening to the stupidity that they're telling you, make up your own mind. Decide for yourself, well, why do I want to hate a guy with a toupee? And why do I want to hate a girl screaming on public property in front of everyone with hatred for that guy with a toupee? I don't care. This does not affect me. This does not affect me. You know what affects me? Spiritual wickedness. All right? Death and damnation. That affects me. Because my liberal and conservative brothers and sisters, that's where we're all headed without Christ and knowing who the enemy is. You can believe whatever you want. This is on you. And I'm telling you what I believe when it comes to this. Genesis 6, 1 through 8. In the scriptures say that fallen angels, whether you believe in them or not, hybridized human beings with their own DNA. In other words, they had children with human females. All right? They created a Nephilim. And that's who secretly, not so secret these days, at least to those who are intellectually honest, controlling the world right now. Now, this is a quote-unquote conspiracy theory, but it's backed up by a lot of ancient information. It's written on the walls of many ancient structures, again, from Timbuktu to Egypt to the Aztec temples, just all over the world, Asia. You don't really write the same story over and over again of cultures that are completely different from one another, sometimes never even really meeting one another, especially when it was the New World over here, okay? And not be intellectually honest and say, hey man, that's beyond coincidence. You believe in coincidence? That's cool, man. That's cool. But to me, that's more magic fairy dust than my Hebrew belief in the Bible. Straight up. I'm gonna go eat my Sabbath meal. It's really good. Chicken, potatoes, and pasta. That's how I roll. And tonight I'm gonna try to have a beer, because I do love my beer. And I'm gonna tell you guys, relax. They are trying to put you against one another, and whether you believe what I say about the fallen angels, the people in power are the ones that believe this as well. Alright? So, stop hating each other. You have different opposing views, okay. But the real resistance is not against one another. It's against ignorance, indifference, mind manipulation, slavery, and death. And all of that is due to sin. Okay? The real enemy is sin, not each other. May the Most High keep and bless us all and lead us all back home where we belong. I love all of you. In Yeshua, the Anointed One's name. Shabbat Shalom.